So we've all settled at some point in our lives or another for one thing or another. But when we've lived for a while and you've been through some things, you live and you learn. I watched a video the other day and someone said that they won't accept anyone's 50%. You guys know what I'm talking about. When it comes to a relationship, it's supposed to be 50-50. Well, this content creator said that they want 100. I could not stop laughing at that. It was the realest thing ever. It is so funny, but it is so real. That is a fact. See, all my life I believe 50-50 was a real thing, but no. I agree with that remix. 100. Just think about it. I know I did. I'm not interested in just knowing your representative. I want to know all of you. I want to know that you are 100% in, not your 50%. I want to know that 100% is coming to the table just as much as my 100% is coming to the table. Your good side and your dark side that you keep hidden that nobody can see. For me, I want to know right up front exactly how dark you really get so I can make some kind of determination on if it's something that I can deal with or not. And that should be each person's right to make that determination, because I grew up in a religious setting. So there was certain information that I wasn't privy to because I was taught not to even look into certain things. But at this stage in my life, I'm spiritual, not religious. And I'm learning more and more every day that it's in my best interest to get as much information about everything that I can. That way, I can have a better understanding about what's really going on in the world. Keeping myself sheltered from information, in some cases, leaves me vulnerable, not knowing how to protect myself against things that I don't even know exist. I used to think just because you don't subscribe to something or you don't believe that it exists, it kept me safe as long as I just didn't believe in it. Well, let me tell you from my personal experience how incorrect that is. Let's take love spells for example. Now, who in the world believed that was actually a thing? I mean, I never even heard of that, let alone thought it was a real thing. But as I always say, guys, I'm just speaking from my personal experience. But do your due diligence. If you use YouTube and that's one of your sources for research, please take a moment and check out some videos on here about people that not only had things like this done to them, but there are videos on here of people speaking on love spells that they did to other people. And there's a lot of cases where those love spells went horribly bad when it backfired. And I believe that's because it is a form of attempting to take away somebody's free will. All I can speak on is what has been done to me. Honestly, had I not actually survived this type of stuff, I probably would be side-eyeing it myself, to be completely honest. But it's the craziest thing ever. Now, normally we're used to seeing females have unhealthy attachment to males. And I'm sorry to have to say that. I really am, but that's just been my personal observation. Females are more emotionally driven and they tend to have deeper emotions invested. That's not to say men don't, but that's just my observation. But the majority of the videos that I've watched, they were testimonials of females who did love spells on someone to get them to be interested in them or get them to stay with them. And I'm sure there are men out there who have done it. Matter of fact, I know for a fact there are men out there who have done this because I survived from it from a male. Now again, I never heard of any love spell. I thought this was something in the movies. Never did I think in a million years that someone could be somewhere doing some love spell on me without me knowing. Those romantic candles, they are not so romantic to me anymore at all. Now, if anyone tries to romance me with candles to so-called set the mood, man, I'm out the door. Now, I don't know the rules or whatever of what people do when they do these things, because my focus was more so how to protect myself from it. And that's another thing, guys. That's another thing that you should research, because I'm not sure if what works for me is going to work for you. I go directly to the Most High for protection, but you may subscribe to something else or protect yourself differently. That's why I say just do your due diligence. But from my understanding, people have all kinds of reasons why they feel doing a love spell is warranted. But for me, I won't ever allow my free will to be tampered with ever again. I didn't even know it existed, so it left me vulnerable. Me, I don't want to be with anyone who doesn't respect my free will. I don't want 50% of you that I'm privy to, but the other 50% behind closed doors, you're the type that's going to go out of your way to try to find ways to control me or to force me to make decisions that you want me to make. I'm not with that at all. That's manipulation, no matter how you look at it. For me, I want organic interest, organic love. I want an organic desire, organic passion. 100, 100 or nothing. I cannot stop saying that. It's the funniest thing ever. I just can't stop laughing at it, but it's so real. Look, don't hide those things that you do when nobody's looking. Just be upfront about it. It's like, just think about it, guys. I really feel like society, for the most part, is responsible for stuff like that, included with our experiences. But that's where the settling part comes in, because sometimes we know that someone is not for us. You know, we know that they could do better, we could do better, we're just not a good fit. It's nothing against them, it's nothing against you. Sometimes it's just the fact of the matter. A lot of times those are the people that we're with, but we turn around and we settle and we decide, you know what, I'm either going to stay with that person because I'm used to them, I'm going to stay with that person because I know them and they know me. And a lot of times we put it to the side. If the situation is toxic, we actually just grin and bear it. And those days are just over for me. I've come so far with doing so much work on myself that I'm sure anybody can have their own opinion of what that looks like for them. But for me, it's called self-love. For me, it's knowing my worth. And I do believe that that's a huge part of it. When you do not know your worth, that was me. So I am not pointing any fingers, because I didn't even know 1/3 of my worth at one time. At one time, I was just happy to be in love, and that was enough. But those days are over. Don't let anybody gaslight you into thinking that you think you're better than anyone just because you've come to terms with your self-worth. There is nothing wrong with understanding your self-worth, especially when you've neglected yourself for so long. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having standards. Now, I'm not saying sit around and judge anybody, because that's not right. But knowing your self-worth and making a conscious decision that you're not just going to settle for anything just to have something, I think that's admirable. Now, again, this is no slight to anybody who puts up with a lot, because I know I've been in that position before where I put up with a lot, and I've been in a position before where people have put up with a lot with me. Listen, guys, if you find yourself in positions to where certain things no longer resonate with you, that you're only going to accept things that resonate with you. You're not going to convince yourself any longer to accept things that you know you just don't want to accept, and you fight back the gaslighting. And that's okay. You don't have to convince yourself that you're doing the right thing, guys, by choosing things that you feel you resonate with, choosing things that you feel, hey, I put in so much work into myself that I deserve to attract those things that resonate with me. And that's what you focus on. There's nothing wrong with that. It's unfortunate, but there are people who will try to gaslight you because you want better for yourself. And to be honest, there's just nothing you can do about that other than focus on yourself and just keep moving forward. I keep saying that because for me, that's the answer for everything. Just focus on yourself and keep moving forward. Focus on the things that you have planned. Just stay in your lane and just focus on you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. I love you guys.